Did you think that starting a LEGO reselling business is all about just buying and selling? Well, essentially yes, but there is so much more that is happening behind the scenes that you may be or maybe not be aware of. In episode 3 on how we start our LEGO reselling business series, we are going to dive into how I organize and store my LEGO parts, minifigs and sets. As always, timestamps will be added to the timeline below, so use them if you need them. Storing sealed sets can be an easy enough task if you have small sets or very few of them, but can be quite a conundrum when the collection becomes larger. If you want to achieve the maximum profit of your bought sets on resale, buying low is not the only aspect that you have to keep in mind. Preserving sets in a mint condition is absolutely critical. So in order to store sealed sets safely, you need to follow these guidelines. First of all, store them away from direct sunlight as the UV rays can fade the colors on the box. Second of all, keep them in a dry and a cool environment. Store them off the ground to safeguard them from damages. And preferably set them in an upright position and do not stack on top of each other to prevent those indentations in the boxes. A good solution here is to buy racks. You can find all sorts and sizes and materials and prices depending on your needs, and most of the time the dividers can be changed so they fit even your biggest sets. And remember, the more sets you buy, the more space you will need. Storing used sets can be a little bit different. Yes, the essentials will remain the same as in storing them in a dark and cool and dry environment and preferably off the ground. The main difference between a used set and a new set is of course the used set has been opened, and most of the time there is either no box or the box has been damaged or ripped open. Either way, you don't have to worry about keeping the box in a mint condition. What I usually do with a used set is to put all the parts and the instructions into Ziploc bags, label them accordingly and store them somewhere safe, keeping in mind the instructions I gave you a little bit earlier in this video. It goes without saying that keeping and storing loose LEGO parts inventory is challenging to say the least, and a lot of Bricklink and Brickstore stores are struggling with this topic. Basically, the goal is to achieve that every part is stored in such a way that it becomes, at number 1, easy to store, and thus it becomes easy and fast to pick when you have to do some order picking to maximize profitability, because time is money. And the time you save with an efficient organization of your parts can be spent on something else. If you're talking about sorting, parting out and organizing LEGO parts, the first thing that you will need is a decent piece of software, because let's face it, parting out in Bricklink is a true nightmare. So in this department I really recommend on using a third-party software like Brickstore. It's completely free, easy to use, and it gives you all the means to start up and maintain a good inventory with the possibility to move parts, pick orders and even change the prices any way you see fit. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel and check on my tutorial videos on Brickstore if you want to learn more. When it comes to storing LEGO parts, you have several options to do so. And by the way, I will be adding the materials used in the description below. This is not a sponsored video and I will not be making any money off of it. It's just to help you guys out. So when you are just starting out and the budget is tight, your best option will be Ziploc bags. They are cheap, they come in various sizes and shapes and can hold a lot of parts. I use these guys all the time. I got like 5 or 6 different sizes and I very often reuse them for all kinds of purposes. So these are definitely a must-have for your store. Plastic containers are especially handy when you have a lot of identical parts. Also, these come in all kinds of sizes and are relatively cheap, plus they are very sturdy. You can even use plastic containers from cookies or whatever. Wash them thoroughly and these can be used to store your parts or even minifigs. These big drawers are amazing to store Lego parts in. They're also kinda cheap. The ones you see here, I bought them for like 20 to 30 euros a piece. And with a piece I mean this tower here with 7 or 8 compartments. They can be disassembled and make even a bigger tower with them, but they can be fragile on the connections. So be careful when pulling them apart. These come in various dimensions, so you can choose what you want depending on your needs. I personally have the 4 liters you see here and the 7 liters iris drawers that you maybe or may not see in the back. So the last method I want to discuss is the sorting bin. When it comes to sorting and order picking efficiency, sorting bins are the king and queens of any Bricklink store. Also, these come in various shapes, sizes and price ranges. The ones you see the most in other Bricklink videos, especially from the US, are the Acromills sorting bins. You see them so much because in the US they are, or maybe were, dirt cheap. In Europe, on the other hand, they are incredibly expensive, and despite they are good quality, I don't recommend them to any European Bricklink store unless you got an inside guy that can sell them to you at US price. As you can see here, these are not Acromills bins. I use the Dutch brand Raco and the Parkside from Little Shops. The Raco bin is a little bit more expensive than Parkside, but that's because they have a lot more space and are crafted from sturdier materials than the Parkside. So depending on where you buy them, the Raco drawers are sold between 28 and 40 euros per bin, while the Parksides go for about 11 to 15 euros per bin. And a small tip, if you can, mount the sorting bins on a wall. That way they won't fall and it clears the floor of any clutter. Don't do as I do and put them on top of each other, because those are just accidents waiting to happen. As a final but very important tip, label everything. Every Ziploc bag, every drawer, every bin. When you're just starting out and you only have 10 different lots, it might not seem necessary. I myself have more than 8,000 lots in my store, and my store is considered peanuts compared to the big boys with 25,000 lots and 2.5 million parts or even more. Labeling correctly is a crucial part in keeping a good, solid and most of all efficient inventory system. So get yourself a marker or a label printer or even a barcode scanning system for all I care. But you need to label your storage locations or you will have one hell of a time finding anything in that mess. And that concludes episode 3 on how to store and organize a LEGO reselling business. If this video helped you in any way, then please like and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to turn on those notifications so you don't miss episode 4, where we dive deeper into another aspect of how to start a LEGO reselling business. Thanks all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.